is that where you first met?
Yes, we're very, you know what? It's really like-minded people. We say it all the time, find each other.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what's happening. Like-minded people finding each other. And Anne-Marie was introduced to another person that we're fortunate, which is Terry brought her, and Karen Johnson brought Terry. So it's like,
right.
It's just wonderful. We have such amazing people in the community. And I thought, well, not all, Karine and I were talking, and we said, you know, we got to get you out here. We got to get people talking to each other.
Well, actually, I'll even put it further. We every Friday on our newsletter, and if you aren't getting the newsletter, guys, sign up for it at sagenavigation.ca. Every Friday, we send one out, and we say, if anybody wants to join us, come on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night in Dockside. We go live at 6 o'clock. And if I'm not mistaken, Anne-Marie was like, I'll go live with you guys. Didn't you volunteer, Anne-Marie?
Sure, I did, yeah.
That's perfect. That's what we want. We really want to introduce people to each other in the community. That's the whole reason why we have Dockside, is like-minded people, like Katherine said, but it's also so that everybody can have conversations, learn, you know, everybody that joins. And Anne-Marie, we know, because I've heard so much about you. I know that you've learned a lot already, and you're so open to learning more. And all right, I'll let Katherine say a few things, and we're going to loop you in.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess the first thing I would say to you is thank you. And I look forward to the conversation. We've been all day saying, oh, it's exciting. I don't know you a long time, but I feel like I've known you forever. And I'm sure based on Karine's smile, she feels the same energy right here. I can tell how excited.
Definitely.
So
Mutual.
thank you. And I guess we're just going to start with some, you know, where they call housekeeping, we call it sea keeping. And just because we're in the middle this month of, in our newsletter, we suggest a book of the month. And the book of May was the 4 Agreements. So we just want to spend a minute before we dive a little deeper with you, Anne-Marie, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this in any case. You always love it. If I mention a book, next thing you know, even the hardest of books you seem to find. So you know what? I love that. Kindred spirits for sure for that. Now, when we talked about the 4 Agreements, each week we pick a different one to talk about. You don't have to have read the book. Here's what you want to hear. Don't take anything. You haven't read the book. I've read the book. I'm on the 2nd time on this book. I live by these agreements.
Let me tell you, right, again, we do our book of the month, and then we do book talk every week or every month in Sage Navigation as well. And I often haven't had a moment to finish a book. And even if I haven't even started it, even if I'm in the middle of it, even if I've read it, I get so much out of book talk because I learn from other people. I learn what was important to them about the book. I learned some of the key things, which I know, you know, we've been doing it here too, but the 4 Agreements, and I know we have a special one to talk to tonight. So it's just a reminder to anybody, come out to book talk, even if you haven't read the book. Like me.
And let's really talk about what's top of mind for me, that, you know, we talked about last week one and the week before another, but this week, I think this one is really powerful. They're all but this one, don't take anything personally. That's one of the 4 Agreements. And
yeah, Anne-Marie, we're going to let you jump in on this one. Because again, even if you haven't read the book, everybody knows you shouldn't take things personally. It's one of his, what does he call 4 Agreements, right? It's one of his 4 Agreements. And the author, again, it's Louis
Miguel Luez.
Luez, that's it. Louis Miguel Luez. So, you know, don't take, what does he say exactly,
Don't
Katherine?
take
What is it?
anything personally.
Anything personally.
Anything.
Yikes.
So let's put it this way. I believe everything is personal if you're talking to me. Clear. But I don't have to take it personally. It's going to be personal. If you're talking to me, it's at me. So it's going to be personal. However, I have to take it personally.
How do you differentiate that? And I don't know.
I know it's a good one, right? So show up at book talk on the 25th. And that's all we'll be talking about. We're not taking our 15 minutes off of Anne-Marie to talk about it tonight. Just don't take anything personally. And when somebody's talking to you, it is personal because it's at me. So the trick is, how do you take it? How do you take it?
I
That's what we
don't see
think
it the
about.
same way, but I'm curious to know what Anne Marie. I have a different
Well,
take on it, but yeah.
I
Anne
could
Marie, what do you
say,
think?
from participating and being part of the conversation, sometimes just listening, was actually a member of Sage Navigation that made a statement that was very poignant and set me aback and got me to thinking. And that statement was, when you love yourself and you're comfortable in your own skin and you believe in yourself, there isn't a single thing that anybody could say to you that will hurt you. And I mean, at first I felt immediately taken aback, and I sort of rejected the statement, like, well, how do you want me to do that? And I was like, but it was
You actually
true.
said that, Anne Marie.
It was Jean. It's Jean that said that. He made
Yeah.
that statement, and it just was boom. I'm like, what? I had to.
No, it was you that
I
said
paused out,
you
but at the
reacted.
end of the day, that is a very profound statement, and nothing that anybody says to you should really hurt you, because they're only words.
But they are being said to you,
I mean,
right?
it's very hard to navigate that sometimes, but life is a journey, and you grow and evolve, and with practice you become better at doing those things, recognizing those things. Self-improvement helps you to gain the confidence that you need to be able to be confident and assess and reject those messages, those negative messages that are coming your way in life in a healthier way.
Yes, agreed.
But that takes
I can't-
sometimes it's a bit of a journey to get there, but you learn as you go.
Roxanne
No need to be
says
so
you're amazing.
hard on myself.
Roxanne says you're amazing. That's the
Oh,
comment.
hugs and
Roxanne,
kisses.
thank you. And you are. And thank you for having the courage, because that's what we stand for in our big C's. What do we want for each of you? Like, if I interact with somebody, I know what I give in 4Cs. Karine, you know what you give in your 4Cs. Sage knows what they give. But what you get for us is, are you going to have clarity? Are you going to have confidence? Right? Are you going to have the courage to live your life the way you want by design? Are you going to step into you because of the things you're reading and seeing and being with us? So I'm like, my heart is warmed, and you're here. And that's what it is when you interact in the community. And that's why having you here today, other members of Dockside could say, let's interact. Let's get to know each other, because each of us take things differently. Like you ask a question. It is personal, but don't take it personally, is what I said. What? Is that a contradiction? Well, is it? No, this is what it is. It is raining, but I don't have to get wet. I put an umbrella and I prevent it from touching me. Well, we do that with our mind. I don't want to swear, but I would take the S and all S's up, deflectors, all S deflectors up. You're walking in, you're going in to have a problem. That happened to me today. Really, I wasn't very happy. I was ready to tear somebody's head off. And I said, no. It is personal, but I'm not taking it personally. But you're trying to make it personal from your perspective. Yeah. But I'm not going to be angry at you, and I'm not taking it personally. This can't have anything to do with me because, like you said, I am love. You are love. Why are they going to attack me? Like, really? Okay, this can't have anything to do with me. But it's very hard because it starts out the initial, listen, when they talk in religion that they smack you on the cheek, turn it to the other. What does Jesus say? Turn your cheek. I haven't bought into that concept. You're going to punch me in my face. I'm going to react, right? It's personal. But the key is these are words and they're powerful. You react when I say somebody's going to smack you. Woo! Well, that's what a word is. It's the worst of smacks, because you're left with them. You know, you get a smack, you walk away, that hurt a little bit, and it's gone when the bruise is gone. But when somebody says a word that hurts you, I'm sorry, that makes me cry. Because when somebody said, not all people know not to take it personally. That's what I love about this book. So we help each other by saying, it was personal, just don't take it personally. And you know, I love our community for that. You know,
Yeah.
and you're great at that, because, you know, as Bob says, when you get conscious of what's going on, you sort of, you have a different reaction. But when you're not conscious, it's like the baby that takes the first step. And I know, not saying, but that's what it is. So the person, like sometimes, and it's, you're always correcting me, Karine, that I take it for granted. Always. I don't take it. I always say I take it for granted. And Karen and Karine and all of my lovely friends say, no, you don't. And I guess I don't, but in some ways, I forget the innocence of it. I forget the first time I heard it, not knowing what it meant. I still am impacted because I'm crying because we're talking about it, but not the same as, oh yeah, of course it's like that. When things are just of course, you don't, sometimes you can, I'll find a better word eventually. But, you know, Anne-Marie, like, I just, like all of the things in you, I have a question.
Mhm.
So they say you don't discover your purpose. You don't discover it. It's really, you create it. Okay. They say people are always in search. They're lost. I'm looking for something when it's right inside you all the time, right? Click your heels like the Wizard of Oz. So I would say to you, each thing that, when you're in a community of like-minded people, when you're in Dockside, when you're doing Live Your Life by Design, when you're sharing information of a book, what does that do for your life?
Well, it provokes thought. You are inspired to go down a different path of thinking that you might not have had that the idea to think or view it from that perspective. So, you know, and by exploring and discussing, you open your mind and you open your feelings to evolve and mature, or adopt things that suit you better and drop things that don't suit you or have no purpose for you anymore, because now you're headed down a different path. And as you grow and as you evolve, you want more. You need to take things from different places. But if you don't have the exposure to other thought patterns or other ideas or other inspirations that can trigger just that very thing that you need to be able to step upwards and forwards into your next path in life, the one that you've been searching for, it's absolutely very healthy and inspiring. All the things that we've been learning, it's been very powerful for me. You know, practicing gratitude for me has made me take a step back and not take things so seriously, not worry about small, what I thought were such big sources of concern. They're not as concerning as actually at the end of the day. And you kind of feel silly for having spent so much time worrying over something that really isn't the point, actually. And so you take the time invested in focusing in the wrong area, and you bring it back to become centered, and then you move forward so that you could focus down a better path, a better focus that will get you to where you want to go. When you want to find what it is you want from yourself, of yourself, for yourself, and for others. So I have been blessed to be able to join this group and to explore books, to have conversations, to be inspired by other women and gentlemen who are of this same journey where they're growing and learning and having conversations and having ideas presented that it's absolutely inspiring. And I love every minute of it. I wish I could focus more on it and spend more time on it, but I'm going as I go, and I'm going by feel, basically, a lot of the time. And all that inspiration, it stays with me for the week until I get to the next batch, the next week. And all of that, I'm in layers. It's coming to me, and I'm taking what I want out of it. Some of it's for me, some of it's not, but the majority of it suits me perfectly. It's exactly what I want. It's exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm on this journey. It's a personal journey, and everybody else is on their own personal journeys, and we're having fun doing it together. And it's nice to be connected with other people who want to do the same thing.
Anne-Marie, Terry wrote in something, and I just want to recognize that because you're very close enough to Terry, who I'm grateful that she brought you. The words being said belong to the person that said them, and not about what's going on in their world, not about you. So that's why you should not take things personally. So Terry contributed to that. Thank you. And that's what we would love in Dockside, engagement. And look forward to, book talk. Let's remind everybody, book talk is, keep the date open. It's the 25th, Thursday night at 7 p.m. And this month, whether you've read 4 Agreements or not, you want to show up, because this is a book with some great insight.
You can show up and just listen, or you can show up and inspire and be provocative and ask tough questions and get people to, I love, Anne-Marie, that you mentioned that when you were at one of your meetings, somebody said something, you're like, hold on a second. And I'll be honest, even when Katherine started out tonight saying like, it is personal, but I don't take it personally, I was like, hold on a second. How does that work exactly? But those are the types of conversations we want people to have. It opens up our minds to different ideas that may serve us better, right? And that is something I will hold on to this. Katherine taught me this. You've just reiterated it. It's a reminder to myself. I didn't know what boundaries were. I still have a hard time setting boundaries for myself. I want to help everybody. I want to do everything. I find everything interesting. I would go and do and try everything. But what I do understand is the question, does this serve me? Or does this help me get closer to my goal? That, as soon as I ask myself that, I'm very capable of setting a boundary and saying, nope, not for me, or nope, not going to get me where I want to go, or doesn't serve me, so really don't want to waste a lot of time on it. And those are words, thank you for saying them, Anne-Marie. Those are words we want everybody to really feel, understand, support each other, inspire each other, like everything you just said. Perfect.
Love you a lot. So glad you're here. And thank you for stepping up and saying I'm interested. Look forward to other times that you join us.
And reminder to our community, if you ever want to join Katherine and I Wednesday nights live in Dockside, on our email, you have our emails, it's in our newsletter, DM us, anything at all. We want people to come and get our community. We want to get to know our community better, and we want our community to get to know each other better. So thank you, Anne-Marie, so much. You set the bar high, but I know that we'll have other guests come on too.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
I will invite you again another time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thank you.
See you guys soon.
Merci tout le monde. Good night.
Merci. Bonne nuit.
Bye.
Bye.